White. It is South Carolina State in the traveling blue. The winner heads to the NCAA tournament, and it is the Spartans who control the tip.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Spartans, they not only want to control the tip, they want to control the action of this basketball game. They don't want to get in a situation where they're scoring in the 85 to 90 range. They'd like to see this game played in the 65 to 75 point range today.
Baseline runner in and out. Spartans, though, get their own offensive board, and we've got our first personal.
Spartans are going to have to chew glass in this basketball game. Look for Manning and Myers to get on that offensive glass and try to get second chance opportunities.
They call it a tie-up, so the ball will go. Here at South Carolina State, as we take a look at the starting lineups, and again, keep your eye on Omar Krosky. He had 30 last night in the semifinal. And out of bounds, turnover for the Bulldogs.
Oh, the old Jerry Stackhouse. You worked so hard to get that basketball. You can't step on that sideline as you kick back to try to foot fake or get your shot up. Got to take care of that basketball. And this don't limit those turnovers.
One thing that you'll see, as you talked about South Carolina State, that press, try to speed this game up and speed the Spartans up. Here's Brian Moore with it to the left baseline. That jumper is no good. Back the other way, Krosky. And another turnover by the Bulldogs.
Oh, back-to-back turnovers to start this game. Coach Martin will not be happy about that. He wants to have the team take pride in that basketball. He'll go 13 players deep. 13 players off that pine will score 37 bench points, number 2 in the country. So he's not afraid to make some guys, have to concentrate, or he will go out there and yank the chain and get him out of the basketball game.
So far, 3 combined turnovers. Wide open for 3. It is missed by Jelani Darden, and here come the Bulldogs.
Yeah, Norfolk State is not a three-point shooting team. They want to attack inside.
Inside, but stolen. Another turnover. Moore gives it up. Shot rejected on the other way. Here come the Bulldogs. Krosky driving, left hand, no. The follow doesn't go.
Yeah, we're seeing some nerves early, but how about that chase down block by Jones?
Inside, Kuel Mudang. He missed it. Back the other way. Tinabe lays it in, the bucket and one.
Oh my, Tinabe stayed with it, ripped it away on the defensive end, and lickety-split, he's out to the other end. I love this right here. Get that contact, concentrate, find that backboard, softens the shot, and you lay it in. Oh, what a play. That's exactly what South Carolina State Bulldogs needed to get off that launch pad.
Personals on Jalen Myers. Be his first.
I was riding in the elevator this morning with Tinabe, and he was leaving a pregame chow, and I said, hey, what's the nickname for Drayton Jones? He said, we call him Diesel. He goes 6'11", 245 pounds. So I'm going to use that on air. He said, do it.
Here's the pressure. 3-0 our score. Darden thought about it, drives, banks it home.
And that's where the Spartans want to live, right below the free throw line. Put so much pressure on that defense.
1-point lead, South Carolina State. They work it around the perimeter. In the corner, 3, air ball. Ding with the rebound, and here come the Spartans.
Something to watch. Moore tweaked his ankle in the first game on Wednesday. Let's see if he's got the explosiveness to try to get around his defenders.
And a reach in. They're going to call that one a Mitchell Taylor. He's the sophomore out of Atlanta.
This guy coming in right here. Oh, my goodness. McKenzie, all he does is knock in triples. He knocked in 5 triples last night.
Here's Brian Moore. To Darden. Up and under. His shot's no good. And here come the Bulldogs back the other way.
Well, it's win or go home. You expect both of these teams to have some nerves early on.
On the shot clock. Taylor, step back, paints it, and the banks are open.
I don't know if he called bank, but he's going to take it. Sure, Coach Martin, their second three-point play. One the old-fashioned way, and now one there, a little unconventional, off the glass.
6-2 our score. Winner heads to the NCAA tournament. That drive. Off the mark. Norfolk State 1 of 7 so far from the field. And that pass a little bit too far for Everett. And we got a Spartan down at the other end of the court.
Yeah, Myers one down. He tweaked that left ankle. I believe it was his left or his right ankle on that drive. But go back to that bank shot there. I don't know if he called bank, but he's going to take it.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Principal. Let's build a retirement and benefits plan that works for your team.
If you're visiting family, why don't you fly better? "16 flights a day from the U.S. to wherever they may be."
At MEAC Insurance, we know it's not a life policy. It's more than that. It's a plan you're putting in motion today to help protect their tomorrow.
During the Genesis Signature event, get 2.99% APR for 60 months on select vehicles, exclusively at your tri-state Genesis retailers.
Take a look here at the last few champions of the MEAC. Norfolk State, in fact, won it a couple of years in a row. And in the past couple of years here, you look back last year, season before that, HU, Howard University. It was the Bisons. And for Norfolk State, look, they are looking to win this MEAC conference tournament. Be their third in the last 5 seasons for the Spartans.
The Spartans got to settle down. They got to handle this backcourt pressure and start attacking inside.
In the home white, Brian Moore drives the baseline. Pull up is no good. Rebound, Jelani Darden. Darden inside and dunked by Colwell Medine.
That's what Medine does. He gets that ball around the basket. He will slam absolutely everything. Kid shoots 57% from the field, mostly on high percentage shots like that.
Spartans into the zone now. Here's McKenzie, the triple. Good.
You cannot leave McKenzie. 9 of 12 in the MEAC tournament from behind the arc. He was 5 for 6 last night. Look at this. If you want to score and get yourself a MEAC championship, you have to have good interior passing and players that can finish. And you never leave the ball, especially in the hottest shooter in the tournament. He'll make you pay.
Yeah, Colin McKenzie, he's a Spartanburg Methodist College transfer. 5-point lead. Make it 3. Medine, another dunk.
Yeah, Darden Medine, boy, that's a little lethal combination right there. That little high handoff, and look at they go back to that little boxing one, trying to stop that interior punch. Well, if you're going to trap, the offensive job is to break that trap and get it over half court and then look and turn to attack. And I love that one right there because that's something they have worked on practice all season long. I'll throw it up there around 10.5 feet. You grab it and slam it down.
All the Spartans' points thus far have come in the paint. There's Drayton Jones will head to the line. Leading scorer for the Bulldogs.
Drayton Jones gets to the free throw line more than most people do even make, even attempt free throws. This kid has shot 222 threes. To put that in perspective, JT Toppin, his only shot, he's made more than JT Toppin has shot. That's how often he gets to the line. JT Toppin, one of the bigs in college basketball.
1 of 2 from the line. Jones, first team all MEAC this season. Lead is 4. Knocked out of bounds, and it'll stay with the Spartans.
Yeah, you see the attention, more drives. Draws when he drives the ball to that painted area. 2 Bulldogs chomp down on him, collapsed and blocked his shot. He was lucky to be able to retain that possession.
Tyrell Bladen has checked in for Norfolk State. He's got the ball now. Let's see, do they call a push?
Yeah, it looks like they did call a foul underneath for pushing Bladen out of bounds. Not the best execution of your baseline out of bounds play when the guy's having to tightrope the inline. Got to tighten up here a little bit more.
It's a 5-second call, and they got it. South Carolina State turning up the defense.
Yeah, Spartans are shaky right here offensively. The half-court offense is leaving a lot to be desired. They're not concentrating on their baseline out of bounds plays. They're not very crisp with their cuts. They're not screening. They'll free a teammate. 3rd
turnover for Norfolk State. Spartans back in the 2-3 zone. Corner 3, McKenzie. That's no good. Rebound Spartans. Here comes Terrence Jones to Ing. Moore. Extra pass, driving the baseline, the kick out. They'll reset with 10 on the shot clock. Christian Ings now with 4, and he turned it over.
Yeah, the old double dribble. It dropped the ball, and you're allowed to pick the ball up, but not if you dribble it to pick it back up.
Hey, don't forget, Champ Week rolls on tonight, 6 Eastern over on ESPN. The Phillips 66 Big 12 Championship game. You get the #1 seed Houston taking on Arizona. Then at 8:30, the ACC Tournament Championship game. Scotty, #1 Duke. Not Carolina, taking on the 2 seed.
That's just mean.
All part of Champ Week presented by Principal.
That's just mean, Brian. Our first game together, you want to start it off like that? Not even 10 minutes has gone by yet.
The layup is good by Moore.
That doggone kid Withers jumped over that free throw line. We were about to tie up the basketball game. I thought my Heels were going to be playing it on championship Saturday, but not to be. Losing to those Duke Blue Devils. Oh, that's like salt in the wound right there.
I know. 2 points. 2-point lead. And a turnover by South Carolina State. That's their 5th, by the way.
Yeah, Moore's got to get it going. His team is really struggling. He's their best player. He was probably the 2nd best player in the league. Was that Fields? Unbelievable move along the baseline. Big number 24. Tight roping that baseline, scoop it up and underneath for the score.
And we're all tied up here at 10.
I like Fields. He gives a lot of energy off that bench, whether it's points or rebounds.
Drayton Jones misses that jumper. Here comes the Spartans with the opportunity to take the lead. Well, Norfolk State started this game 1 out of 8 from the field. Since then, 5 of 4. But turnover by Ings.
Yeah, big roadblock underneath there. Diesel, Drayton Jones turning them away. So you shall not enter my kingdom.
Corner 3, no good. The Spartans will walk it up. Here's Ings. To Moore. Has it knocked away. Loose ball.
Well, if you want to get things done here in March, you got to be an aggressive player. I love that one right there, the old Steve Smith. You act like you're to dribble out, you can go underneath and scoop for the score.
Kubota Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. Sales ending soon. Find your nearest dealer at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Find a pet-friendly Italian restaurant with outdoor seating nearby and text it to Luca.
Find it real quick. Send it to the click. Wow, the place is sick.
Two top seeds in the MEAC battling it out for a chance to punch their ticket to the NCAA tournament. We're all tied up at 10. Let's take a look at some of the MEACcolades that have happened this season for the MEAC. Coach Martin, Eric Martin here, head coach at South Carolina State University. Well, he's the MEAC Coach of the Year, and in fact, Everett is the 6th man of the year. Davion Everett, the senior. And of course, Howard had a couple of players that fantastic freshmen. They had player of the year of the conference. Inbound to Moore. Brian Mora shoots the triple. In and out. And he'll go to South Carolina State.
Yeah, Brian Moore just can't get off that launch pad. He made a big triple last night and put his team up by 7 with about a minute to play, but right now struggling. Can't get anything going to the rack. Can't get that outside jumper.
It's been 3 minutes. South Carolina State scored a bucket. Coming upon the halfway point here in the first half. Here's Everett, put his shoulder down and draws the offensive foul.
Yeah, he did not work himself to the outside frame of the defender. Tried to go right through the numbers, and that was going to be a charge every time. Look at Mating. Gets into a good defensive stance and takes that one right square in the chest. That's what you take. You got to give it up for your teammates in situations like this. That's a big guy down there trying to charge hard to the basket. Step in that driving lane and take that charge.
Davion Everett is a guy that Norfolk State certainly wants to try to contain. He's had 2 really good games this season against the Spartans. They break the press, and the layup is good.
Well, that's
Jelani Darden.
All right, Brian, that's exactly how you draw it up in the textbook. Get the ball to the wing, center, and then attack. To find one of your wing runners with that 90-degree angle right to the basket.
First lead for Norfolk State. They're on a 6-0 run. On the shot clock, and we got a foul on Norfolk State.
Yeah, Darden got a little too aggressive into the ball handler there, but I love this one right here by Fields. Always got his eyes up, you know, making those plays. And those are winning plays right there. Good catch, good finish, easy 2 points. You see that Norfolk State started 1 for 8. Since they're 5 for 7, they just got to get shots, take care of that basketball, keep going inside for buckets.
Mitchell, 3. No good. Tipped out of bounds, but it'll go to the Spartans. Once again, South Carolina State has set up that press.
Yeah, South Carolina State, they can press because they sub 2 or 3 guys in on almost every dead ball. So Coach Martin's always got guys fresh. And last night, they blew their opponent out so badly, nobody played more than 20, 25 minutes. So most of these dudes over here in the dark jerseys, they're rested. They're ready to rock and roll here. You can see them. They're chomping at the bit. Inbound that ball so we can try to take it away.
How hot has the Bulldogs been? Well, they came into this tournament on a 9-game winning streak. That shot contested at the rim. Just like Fields, and we'll go to the line.
What a fantastic pass, a cross-court pass towards through the paint, found Fields in stride. He went up and tried to jam that, but he was undercut. Well, that young man is okay. He took a nasty spill on Wednesday, fell right on his keister, and talked to him at a press conference. He said, I pulled a muscle on my backside. So maybe didn't get quite as high as he wanted to finish that jam. Let's see if we go to the line and make a couple free throws.
Here's the sophomore out of Petersburg, Virginia.
63%.
Knocks down that first one. Hey, don't forget on ESPN, we got a semifinal game. #1 team in the nation, Auburn taking on Tennessee. And then coming up on ESPN at 3:30 Eastern, you'll see Florida battling Alabama. Of course, tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, it'll be the SEC Men's Championship game. All part of Champ Week. It is presented by Principal. 1 of 2 by Fields. 3-point lead for Norfolk State.
Yeah, Norfolk State putting a little pressure on the backcourt, really extended. They're going to fall right back into that little box and one. Actually, take this back. It's a 2-3 zone they've gone back to.
They work around the perimeter. Michael Teal, the 3. It's no good. Bulldogs on the offensive glass, and we got a tie-up. Pushing and shoving.
That's the way it's supposed to be, right? You know, everything's on the line. You win, you get a ticket to the big dance. You lose, you go fishing. So these guys out there scrapping and clawing, jawing at one another. I love it. I told those officials we were walking in with them, and I said, hey, let these guys play. I said it's good, strong, physical game. Make an old 90s school, 90s NBA basketball. So far, that's what we see.
Well, you know, they say South Carolina State is known for their energy and playing hard. And one of the things that Coach Robert Jones told us is we need to match their intensity and their toughness, and that's what you're seeing here on the court right now.
Yeah, there's an old saying a lot of coaches like to use, but it's play tougher than the guy in front of you, and that's exactly the way those Bulldogs play.
So the call basically a jump ball, but they just want to take a look, just to look to see if anything happened here in this little scrum we had after the jump ball call.
Well, I love it right here. I see both guys got, you know, 20 fingers on that basketball. It ain't but so big, so somebody's going to take an elbow at some point in time down here, and I don't think there's going to be anything here, but they just want to make sure that Jones didn't give him an extra little elbow or a little knee to the solar plexus there. I love it. Look at Joe. He barking. Jaws just a flapping. That's what it's about, man. It's March. I love the madness. These guys out here competing at a high level. I can still remember 35 years ago, my final college basketball games. I get goosebumps when I think about this. You get a chance to go to the big dance, right? A chance to play with everybody watching you. A chance to maybe go to the Sweet 16 or the Final Four, which sadly I never had on my resume. my one big whole state champions. Oh, coach, the referee goes nuts.
Thank you. Mike Mione telling us, look, they're just going to go with the jump ball call, nothing excessive after just a little pushing and shoving. It's MEAC basketball.
And I love that, right? Nobody gets a technical foul. No one gets tossed out of the game. Let big, strong young men be big, strong young men today.
Bulldogs have had 7 straight misses. Oh, Gare rejected.
Not up in here. Great job defending at the rim. You've seen that on both sides of the court now.
South Carolina State has not scored in over 4 minutes. But a steal. 2-on-1. Extra pass and laying it in. Finally, the Bulldogs cracked their snide.
Coach Jones got to be upset with that one. You get a great stop and then just some miscommunication. Dart coughs it up, and with live ball turnovers, the things Coach Fear keep them up at night. That's an easy run out.
Mike Tia almost came up with another steal there. They go inside to the big man. Uses the left hand.
How about the big guy, Manning, flashing the footwork down in that paint. Great spin move, and offhand, high off the glass over the defender.
He's been perfect from the field with 6 points. Lead is 3 for Norfolk State, the #1 seed in this tournament. Mitchell. Pass. 3. Good. And that's the man you got to get it to, Omar Krosky.
Yeah, Crosby was fantastic last night, 30 points. I mentioned the 7 triples that he hit. He has a little bit of everything for this team. He's kind of an energizer bunny. Not only does he score, he rebounds, he gets steals. He fires up his teammates. He anchors the defense.
Tied up at 15. Ings drives. Shot partially blocked. Back to the Spartan. Fields lays it in. All of the field goals for the Spartans have come in the paint.
Yeah, and Fields is a big reason why, right? This kid continually puts his head down. You can give him a football helmet, a chin strap, or a mouthpiece, because this kid goes right to the rack, to the heart of the defense.
Foul line extended, and the roll. It is good for Davion Everett.
Showing a nice touch right out beside the free throw line there. And that's what they got to do. They got to get that ball in the middle and turn and look at that basket, be offensively aggressive. Not always with the shot, but certainly with making put the ball on the floor and maybe even finding one of your shooters or interior passes.
Inside of 8. Medine, he traveled, he did. Turned it over. 7 turnovers for Norfolk State, but we're all tied up at 17. It's the MEAC championship game.
Kubota Orange Days delivers the savings you need for the life you love. Shop a wide selection of equipment at your local dealer, including America's #1 selling compact tractor. And get your perfect match delivered to your door. Designed for comfort and built for performance. Now through June 30th, get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months or up to $3,000 off select compact tractors. Sales ending soon. Find your nearest dealer at KubotaOrangeDays.com.
Let's go, let's go. Time to start the show. Let's go, let's go. It all starts right now.
Champ Week here on ESPN, and this is what they're playing here. The MEAC Tournament Trophy and a ticket to the NCAA Tournament. Norfolk State looking for their 3rd MEAC Conference Tournament title in the last 5 seasons. Meanwhile, for South Carolina State, I mean, they're looking for their 1st conference tournament title win. You got to go back 20 years. I mean, it's been 2002, 2003 since they've won this tournament.
Yeah, they want to get to the big dance. I think it's been 24 years since they've had a chance to go represent. And then, was it Orangeburg? Is that where they are?
Yeah.
South Carolina.
Yeah,
so they
absolutely.
get excited about going to the big dance. They got a team that's 120 wins. They want to cap it off with a trip to the dance.
Krosky misses that 3. Tried to save it, but out of bounds.
Well, we were talking kind of off air during the break how these teams seems like it's going to be one of those seesaw battles all night long, right? So you're going to go score maybe 4 or 5 points. The other team's going to come right back and score 3 or 4 points. You're going to be on a seesaw battle. No team's going to get up more than double digits at any point in time during this basketball game. So you got to lock in concentration. Every possession is so important.
They break the press. Layup no good.
You got to finish that one. Great pass there. Use the basket, the backboard rather, and finish that basketball play.
Stop, pop, and hit. It's good.
See,
That's Jaden Johnson.
The second mid-range jump shot right in front of the rim with nobody in front of him.
Medine Challenged by Krosky, and they're going to call a foul on him.
Well, Meding has done a nice job here in this first half of using his length around the basket. We've seen it with the footwork, and then I love that one right there. Drops up to a power move, not trying to go off glass. You go with that kind of authority, you get in contact, the referees are going to have to call it. Now the big fella's got to go to step to the line. He's just a 53% shooter. He's got to get 2 right here.
He knocks down that first one. He's a senior, transferred in from Buffalo. He's part of the MEAC all-defensive team this season.
Coach Jones getting a sub here for the shooter. If he makes this, he wants to put that trap on. He could not put that second one down.
Yeah, Sincere McMahon has come in. Moore nearly came up with a steal.
See that 2-3 zone defense. Guys out there communicating on that back line, calling out the runners along the baseline.
Here's Jaden Johnson. Extra pass. Baseline jumper is no good. Rebound goes to the Bulldogs. Colin McKenzie came away with it. Got a foul underneath here, it looks like on the Spartans.
Yeah, Darden got in a bad way down there with 245-pound DJ Diesel underneath the basket. He wanted no part of that. He said, I'm going to go ahead and foul him and make them take it out on the baseline.
Second personal on Darden. He'll have a seat.
You know, some fouls aren't bad fouls. That was going to be a sure 2 points.
Krosky misses that 3. There's Drayton Jones again on that offensive glass.
Yeah, Jones is just using that length much the way Meding is on the other end on that box out there, really getting into Jones. When you say now that's the 5th team foul, so they got one more before they're going to be in the penalty situation. They got to start putting a body on a body. Blad's got to start doing a better job getting to that, finding that big guy. Actually, Jones is out. He took his break.
Here's Krosky to McKenzie. He'll fire the 3. In and out. Loose ball comes up to the Spartans. Brian Moore back the other way. That 3 by McMahon. Good!
Well, Brian Moore, if you can score, do something else to help your team. And that guy, he does a nice job getting that ball right in front of the free throw line and then kicking it back out for the triple.
Deep 3. Money.
Exchanging 3-point shots here. And I would love to see both these teams heat up right before the half and see 5.5 minutes to play. Who can gain a little bit of that momentum and try to take it to the locker room?
2-point lead for Norfolk State.
Well, Moore comes down here, finds his partner right on that left side of the floor and knocked it down. And then I love this one right here. No hesitation whatsoever. Get on balance, got a clean look at the front of the rim, and you knock it down.
And Wilson Dubinsky, one of the best shooters in South Carolina State. Here's Christian Ing with 5 on the shot clock. To Brian Moore Jr. Spins. His pass stolen.
I think we got
a shot clock violation.
Great call. Yeah, just a little bit maybe unselfishness right at the end. Moore again, second leading scorer in the MEAC this year, has got to do a better job looking for his own shot when he gets that ball below that free throw line. He got to put more pressure on the defense. Get into the body of the defender. Get yourself to the free throw line. Got to give yourself an opportunity to calm your nerves, harness your adrenaline, and to see that, visualize that basketball going through the net.
A little Spartan pressure now. As we hit the 5-minute mark until the half. Krosky in the corner. Dribble it to the wing. Dubinsky, another 3.
he is heating up on this floor right now, and that's going to be danger zone for Norfolk State. Those big threes, that's what they can do. Norfolk State doesn't have the ability to match 3 for 3 with the Bulldogs.
6-0 run by the Bulldogs. Shot in close, no good. Moore has it, hangs, and he'll go to the line.
Wow, how about guys in the white shirts crashing the offensive glass? Go back to this one right here. He just stepped out on the big fella. I love that inside reverse pivot, allowed him distance to see that basketball clearly go through the basket. So that was wonderful execution of the half-court offense. And then Moore. This is the guy I'm talking about having to get going, having to get that to that free throw line. And that last possession, when he gobbled that basketball, he must have heard me telepathically, because he took that thing right to the rack and got that body contact.
Coming to this one, leading the Spartans at 18 points a game. Hey, coming up, 3 p.m. Eastern, ESPN2 semifinal game. Number 1 seed in the American Conference, Memphis, taking on the 4 seed Tulane. Then you got another semifinal. The 2nd seed North Texas takes on the 3rd seed UAB. Of course, the championship game at 3:15 on ESPN, the American Men's Championship. Both free throws were good by Moore. In fact, he came into this game with 612 points, most in a season by a Norfolk State Spartan since Jonathan Wade put up 658 points in 2016-2017.
That kid can fill it up. He only had 5 points in the first half last night. He's got to get himself at 9 points in the second half, but he's got to get himself going.
Skip pass, 3, no good. Rebound, Bulldogs. What they do, they hit that offensive glass. Dubinsky again, good again. Wilson Dubinsky, 3 for 3 from 3. And it's the Bulldogs with a 5-point lead. And of course, it's South Carolina saying, fear the bite.
Yeah, they really get bit hard right now. Logo triples falling for the Bulldogs.
Five-point lead. Ings drops it off, but the pass is stolen by South Carolina State. Inside the dunk. Drayton Jones, biggest lead of the game for the Bulldogs. It is 7 with 3 minutes to play until the half.
Well, that run was impressive, doing it from the outside with logo triples, and I love this one. Like there, get on balance. You've already knocked in 2. You're shooting it real good. You're feeling good about your form, and then you look inside to your big guy. Jones will let him thunder one down.
Thank you, Dallin.
Every day, our world gets a little more connected, but a little further apart. But there are moments that remind us to be more human.
Thank you for calling Amica.
Hey, I was just in an accident. But are you okay?
Don't worry, we'll get you taken care of.
At Amica, we understand that looking out for each other isn't new or groundbreaking. It's human.
As you take a look at William Dubinsky, the senior out of Ottawa, I mean, these guys average 7 points a game. He's already got 9, all of them coming from beyond the arc.
Yeah, letting him do what he does. He shoots 42.5% from behind the arc, so you better find him both in the half-court set in transition and run him off of that three-point line.
11-2 run by South Carolina State. McMahon, high off the glass, no. And here come the Bulldogs.
Yeah, a few times now the Spartans have been able to get inside, but the length of South Carolina is just bothering them.
McKenzie 3 is no good.
Dodged the bullet right there. You cannot leave McKenzie open from behind the arc.
Brian Moore attacks the basket and he'll go to the line.
That's exactly what we've been calling for, Brian Moore. Hey, you see your team go down to 11-2 disadvantage on a run here, and still in the momentum in South Carolina, you got to be that guy. You've been that dog all season long. This is your time now to step up, try to put some points on that board. Kid shoots over 80% from the line, so I know he does not fear that free throw line.
He's out of Harlem. He was the MEAC Newcomer of the Year. Transferred in from Murray State. Full skill substitutions by the Bulldogs. Moore misses them both. Lead remains 7. 2:20 until the half. Winner heads to the NCAA tournament. Got Dubinsky running the baseline. 10 on the shot clock. Here's Dubinsky now. 4 into Davion Everett. Off the glass and good.
Oh, Everett hit a nice job. He went right into Medine. Medine tried to flop down there, and he threw that little left shoulder turn, right hand hook, right up there. 13-2 running count.
Norfolk State has not scored in over 4 minutes. That shot challenged by Krosky.
Time and time again, they are getting stopped inside by the length of South Carolina State. They did a nice job early on attacking that basket. They were able to finish. But like you say, 4 minutes without a bucket.
South Carolina State has won 11 straight games as that one off the glass and in by the freshman Jaden Johnson.
Well, it looks to me like South Carolina State is just outworking the Spartans right now. They're an aggressive team on both ends of the floor. Defensively, they're doing a great job. They've extended pressure. They're not allowing the three-point shooters to get hot, and they're not letting them play in that painted area.
It's a 15-2 run. Medine, double team, triple team, and has it taken away. Another turnover, but stolen. Christian Ing came up with the steal, but could not finish.
Yeah, even when the Spartans catch a break and they get a live ball turnover, they cannot finish at that basket. That's one thing Ings was so good at last night. 19 points, a lot of them on drives to the bucket. Yeah, he knocked in a couple triples, but most of his damage came in and around that paint. You wonder the short turnaround time for the Spartans. It just kind of got them discombobulated. 2 night games, and all of a sudden you finish up in the evening, and coach tells you, okay, we got to head back to the gym here in about 14 hours to get off your feet, try to get some rest. And this turnaround time has definitely affected the Spartans' attack.
Under a minute until the half. Moore driving, and the runner's good.
Yeah, and Moore wanted some a foul after that contact, but this way officials are letting them play. It's like the black and blue big as well. They're letting bodies on bodies bang. Right here, Norfolk State needs a stop and a score, trying to take a little of that sting off this first half.
About 9-second differential between the shot clock, game clock. And the Bulldogs will call the timeout.
Yeah, you let that use it or lose it timeout. Give them a little blow, and let's talk about what we want to do here to attack.
Every day, our world gets a little more connected, but a little further apart. But there are moments that remind us to be more human.
Thank you for calling Amica.
Hey, I was just in an accident. Are you okay?
Don't worry, we'll get you taken care of.
At Amica, we understand that looking out for each other isn't new or groundbreaking. It's human.
Welcome to our world of extraordinary hydration science. Meet Liquid IV, sugar-free hydration, scientifically formulated with electrolytes, vitamins, and 0 artificial sweeteners. Liquid IV, sugar-free.
19 seconds left until the half. South Carolina State, the #2 seed. Norfolk State, the #1 seed here in this MEAC tournament. But it's the Bulldogs with that 9-point lead. The winner heads to the NCAA tournament. South Carolina State, 2003. Last time they punched a ticket to the NCAA tournament. 5 now to Everett. His shot short. And Medine had it, but was out of bounds.
Yeah, he pivoted underneath the basket. Generally, you pivot out towards the sideline. You pivot underneath the basket, and those Nikes, he stepped on the baseline. So even when they got the stop they wanted to be able to play for the last shot, they turned it over again. Now South Carolina State's got 9 seconds to operate.
11 turnovers for the Spartans. Krosky, the 3, short. It'll go to Norfolk State with 4.3 until the half.
I was surprised Krosky shot that one. I know he was open, but normally you want to take the final shot of the half. So chance to get 3 or 4 dribbles and then launch one from about the 3-point line.
Here's Moore with 1, the pull-up. Too strong, and it has been a first half dominated by the Bulldogs. They've got the 9-point